It's the most wonderful time of the year. Christmas season has officially come to book break, and I'm going to be kicking off December with a Christmassy buddy read of a festive romance. I am about to start Meet Me Under the Mistletoe by Jenny Bayliss, who is the queen of the festive romance. She's also the author of The 12 Dates of Christmas and The Winter of Second Chances, so I'm really excited to see what this book has in store for me. But I'm not going to be reading this alone. I am going to be buddy reading this book along with Carol Ann, so I'm off to meet her now. I have glimpsed from the first page of this book that the main character runs a bookshop in Shepherd Market, and so that's where we have decided to meet, and we are going to go on a Christmassy tour of London and read this book together all day. Look who I've got! A Christmas elf! So we have been reading on the way to meet with each other. We're pretty much neck and neck. So far we've both read around 2 chapters of this book.
It's so good so far.
Yeah, I really love it. Loving the main character. What I've learned about her is that she runs a bookshop in Shepherd Market, which is where we've come to. It's a second-hand bookshop, and she loves all of her books so much that she doesn't like selling them because she wants to keep them in the shop instead.
That's fair.
Very
honestly.
Cute.
I love like how she has so much of a friend group in there. Like there's this really big high school friend group. Is it high school? I guess.
Yeah.
Like British.
Yeah, school. Senior school.
And they're all friends and they're all getting back together.
Yeah, it's really cute. Yeah, so the premise is they're going back for this school reunion because one of them's getting married.
Oh yes. Excited for that.
Yeah, so we're gonna go check out some cute secondhand bookshops, which might have been the ones that inspired this author.
Hopefully.
We have just been to visit 2 bookshops in this area, which I think if you combine them, like perfectly make Nori's bookshop.
Oh yeah, completely. I think with the old books at the first one we went to and the size of the second one, but I think maybe Nori's a little messier.
Yeah, I think combine those 2 bookshops and make them chaotic, and then you have serendipitous seconds.
Exactly, and maybe add a bookseller that just does not want you to come in.
just not want to sell you the book. So it's really cute. 2 really beautiful bookshops we've just seen, and then we have read some more of the book. So what has happened now? We have met Isaac.
Oh yes!
Firstly, Isaac is going to be the love interest. We had him introduced as her childhood rival, which I hadn't realised she'd already known him. So we like learnt about him as a childhood rival, and where I've just got to, I don't know if you're at the same place, I also have just met him again as an adult.
Oh yes,
you have.
But also, I feel like it's kind of had a crush on my best friend, on my brother's best friend, and maybe second chance romance.
Second chance romance, also enemies to lovers.
Ooh, yes.
There's a lot going on, and they had a kind of hilarious meet cute, which involved falling in a cow patch. Which is, you know, not what you expect.
No, not the best way to put your foot forward. Best foot forward.
We've also met all of Nori's childhood friends that she's reuniting with. My main observation, they're very rich.
And they all have filthy, ridiculous jobs.
Yeah, yeah. And the wedding is at this castle. So we've gone to the castle. There is, at one point they go into a dining room and they get there by going through a door hidden in a bookcase, which is the dream.
I did love that bit. I feel like Nori should have squealed a bit more at that bit.
Yeah, like we would have. That's true book lovers. But I have been feeling jealous because they actually got out of London and went to the countryside. We can't do that today, but we are going to get out of Shepherd Market and we're going to go to The next best thing, I think the closest you can get to the countryside in London is
Hampstead?
Hampstead.
Yes!
So we're going to go to Hampstead now.
Amazing. Let's
go.
It's actually that way.
Oh no. We've made great progress.
So much progress.
We did have our books the right way up for reading. So we have read another 6 chapters or so on the journey here. And a lot has happened.
A lot has happened.
Firstly, Isaac, the sexual tension.
The cheek kiss.
The cheek kiss. These
Okay.
two, will they, won't they? They've got obstacles on their path because Nori's brother is friends with Isaac and he does not want his worlds to mix.
That feels very selfish.
Yeah. Caroline had a brother. You know what it's like.
My brother was very protective.
So there's a lot building between Nori and Isaac, which is really fun.
And she invited him to dinner with her friends. I wonder how that's gonna go because...
Yeah. So what we know about Nori is that she comes from a working class family and she got a special scholarship to go to the very posh private school in the same area. So that's why she and her brother kind of have this rivalry because they went to these rival schools.
So I think there's definitely lots of discussions on elite.
Yeah, there's a lot of class tension being discussed in the book, and Nori kind of has this unique position of being in between both worlds because she was raised in this working class family, but she's friends with these very rich, privileged people.
And I'm not sure that she knows where she stands. She just doesn't know how to deal with all the tension from both sides.
Yeah, exactly. So Isaac, who is very much, he has a real problem with her friends and their
there's history there.
There's history. So he's now been invited to this dinner. There is a particular friend called Guy, who you learn right from the beginning did something very, very bad. And so Nori doesn't want to see him. And having met him in the book now, he is just as bad as you would expect.
Yeah.
And so at this dinner party, tensions, particularly between Guy and Isaac, are high. We are halfway through the book. We've been keeping pace really well. We read another 5 chapters over lunch.
Yeah.
And
maybe not while eating burgers, but definitely in between.
It did make it a little challenging. So we had a delicious lunch, and of course we wanted to come to our favourite place in the world afterwards, which is a bookshop. We've come to Waterstones. There is a lot to unpack about what we just read.
Yes.
The first thing that happened, the first chapter that we read after last seeing you, I absolutely loved. It was adorable, and that was Snowball croquet.
It's such a good tradition.
It's such a cute tradition. This friendship group, every time it snows while there is a full moon, which like honestly cannot be that common, but common enough, they've made a tradition. They go outside in the middle of the night and they play croquet and they drink snowballs. Also, we haven't talked at all about Tristan yet.
Yes.
But part of the reason that this tradition is so poignant is because of it was started on the birthdays of one of their friends, Tristan, who took his own life a few years before the book starts, and that's been a really important thread. The book really dives into mental health in quite a few ways.
Yeah.
Quite a few of the characters have different struggles with their mental health, and I really appreciated the way that's talked about.
Yeah, and I hope that it'll unfurl even more with the rest of the book and seeing where some of these people go with how they deal with everything. I think they're starting to mention with how much they talk about their feelings and, you know, like toxic masculinity and all that. So I think it will be important to see. And I honestly think that Tristan has a big part. I feel like the whole thing is based around Tristan. We also find out that Isaac has kind of a bit of a secret, which we won't tell you too much about.
No, it was a big reveal.
Yeah, but I feel like we've kind of seen it because there's a couple moments where he was being a little dodgy about things. And yeah, now it's finally come out that there's something we don't know.
No idea where that is going to go. It's like opened up quite a big storyline. and who knows how that's going to resolve. But while we're talking about Isaac, a bigger thing happened. We got the first kids. Finally, halfway through the book, we got there. And it was a dramatic moment. So Guy, we have mentioned that Guy is one of Nori's friends who is not a nice person. He was awful in this scene.
So awful. Honestly, the things he said.
Yeah, there is a punch up in this scene, and I am not a violent person, but I was rooting for them to punch him in the face.
Yeah, I was rooting for a lot more than that. Let's be honest.
Yeah. He's fully terrible. So
he deserves it.
He deserved it. There was a pretty funny and dramatic scene which resolved in the first kiss.
Hey, I feel like the tension just was so high. They had to let it out.
They
somehow.
had to. So now I cannot wait to see what happens next. So we've come to Waterstones. We're going to browse around. We're going to go sit in the cafe and keep reading. We popped into another bookshop on our way from Waterstones because it's what Nori would have wanted. And I know this one isn't in Shepherd Market, but I think this is Nori's exact bookshop.
Oh yeah, for sure.
The chaos. It's magical.
Love it.
There's like a bed there. Why?
For when you need to take a nap after a good book.
It's true. We have made it at last to the countryside / Hampstead Heath. We went on quite a few detours via the pub lunch, which you saw, via a couple of bookshops, which you saw. We are getting like towards the end of this story, and again we have a lot to catch you up on. This book has so much in it.
So many storylines, so many characters.
Yeah.
There's so much to pick from.
So much to pick from. So you have decided your favourite character.
Yes, I love Amira.
And I'm going to say, relation to that, my favourite character is her boyfriend.
Oh, is
Dev.
he her boyfriend?
She calls him her man Barbie.
Which we have an issue with.
Everyone keeps telling her, stop objectifying your man Barbie. He is not just a piece of meat.
No.
He is described as like the most beautiful man in the world, so we really want to see him.
Yes.
But he's so smart and clever and funny and thoughtful.
So basically, don't judge a book by its cover.
Don't judge a book by its cover. So you're Team Amira, I'm Team Dev.
Yes.
But they are the same team.
Together, we are Team Devrira.
We've also got to my favourite scene that happened in the bit that we just read. I loved it. There was a bit of a spray tan disaster.
Bridezilla disaster.
A Bridezilla disaster, and a couple of the friends had to help tone down her spray tan,
which involved some naked scrubbing.
I loved it.
I don't think I'm close to any of my friends this way. I'm sorry to tell you, know, I will not scrub you down.
It was a very, very funny scene. I really enjoyed that. Has Guy done anything bad in this scene?
When does he not?
Guy has continued to live up to his reputation, his bad reputation.
Very bad reputation. We do not like him, and we do not condone him.
We do not condone Guy. But we haven't even talked about the main romance. Isaac and Nori are getting so cute.
It's getting to the point where I had to take my coat off, you know.
Yeah. It's adorable. We love it. I am worried because we're getting to that point in the book where something bad might happen. What do you call it? The third
act breakup.
The third act breakup. And like right on the page that we stopped reading at, Nori just did something. We haven't seen the consequences of it yet. I don't think they're going to be good. I don't think that she is making good decisions.
I'm questioning her a lot at the moment.
She said that she was feeling snog drunk because the kissing was so good, and I think that was a snog drunk decision.
Yeah, but that was a bad snog drunk decision.
So I think in the next few pages we're going to see
what happens.
Yeah. At this point we cannot tear ourselves away from the page, so we are going to keep reading while we walk. Try and not fall over, trip on any tree roots, bump into any strangers. We are making our way across the heath to the Spaniards Inn, which is a pub that has some literary connections.
Yes.
So we wanted to go there. For a reading vlog, it felt appropriate. It's mentioned in Dracula.
And it has some mulled wine.
And we're hoping it has some mulled wine. So we're going to make our way there. We'll see you on the other side of the heath. We have reached our final location. We made it across the heath to the Spaniards Inn, and we are trying some of their famous mulled wine, which we have both been craving ever since Isaac and Nori had some mulled wine in the book.
Yes.
Oh, that's delicious.
Wow.
First mulled wine of the season. In the last few pages, as we predicted, things got destroyed.
I am rooting for them.
We just want to get these crazy kids back together.
Yes, please.
With this much left of the book, we have done very well in our mission to read it all in one day.
Yeah.
I didn't think we could do it.
Of course we can.
Mulled wine is going to see us through the stress of seeing whether they get back together.
It's going to take me the next page.
Yeah.
That's all.
What, before you've downed it? We are hoping, we have a hope from the title, that Mistletoe is going to be involved in their reunion. Also, as well as figuring out how they're going to get back together, we already said there's a lot of very interesting storylines combining in this book. We have a lot of unanswered questions.
It'll be interesting to see whether or not they are answered in the next few chapters. Like, for example, will Amira admit to love?
I hope so.
I'm rooting for
Team
them.
Dev Mira.
Yes. Dev Mira? Okay, I like it. Yeah.
How are Isaac and Nori ever going to make it work?
They don't live in the same places, so is Nori going to leave London? Is Isaac going to leave the castle?
We volunteered to run the bookshop.
Yeah, definitely.
If Nori wants to go and hang out with Sexy Gardener in his castle, we will take over the bookshop. Alternatively, if Nori wants to run the bookshop, we volunteer to go hang out with Sexy Gardener at his castle.
Sold. We'll make it work for them. Don't worry.
I hope they meet under the mistletoe.
Right?
Let's find out. The Christmas lights just came on just for us.
Yes. It's like they knew we were outside by ourselves with Christmas hats on.
Hurry up, hurry up. We've got to a very cute sentiment about the friendship group, because as Caroline and I have been saying throughout, it's a complicated friendship group. They're old friends from school, they've drifted in a lot of ways, they've all turned out kind of differently, but there's quite a cute explanation here of like what that kind of old friendship means.
What?
You were right!
It's Pippa, so yeah,
You
okay.
were right. It's 2 days till Christmas.
Slow down.
Yay!
Oh, that's so cute.
It was getting properly dark and cold outside, so we have come in by a fire.
But we just had to do it really quickly because
It's getting, things are heating up. We finished it.
We finished a book, and that was such a good romance.
It was
I'm
such
in
a good
love.
romance.
I'm in love with them.
That was a lovely day, well spent, doing Christmassy things, reading a Christmassy book.
And yeah, honestly, all the questions got answered and then some. It's the perfect book to snuggle up at Christmas time.
It is the perfect book to snuggle up at Christmas time. I will put a link in the description box below if you want to buy yourself a copy of this book.
And you can subscribe to Book Break by clicking right here.
And you can subscribe to Macmillan on TikTok. I will put a link in the description box below. See you next
soon.
time!
Happy holidays!